A lot of people wonder how close they can plant plants together, what kind of plants they can plant together, and how they can start to create permaculture guilds, how they can utilize layering to maximize their gardens. So we're here in a garden in Bribie. This was on white sand. The soil is now improved, but I really want to show you this garden and show you the different varieties and the different species all working together, all in combination, and so that you can see all these guilds. Now, if you don't have access to these kind of gardens where you can see it for yourself, where you can see the plant's characteristics, its growing behavior, then it might be hard for you to visualize and create a guild in your mind. But you shouldn't stop attempting to create a guild just because it might be hard at start to visualize. Just start planting plants closer together under your fruit trees and watching how they grow. You can always dig them out and replace them. So I'm just going to go and show you this garden and, see what you think. So like I said, we're on beautiful Bribie Island in southeast Queensland, subtropical zone. This is on a white sand that's been developed. We have limes growing here, and under the lime we got Suriname spinach, Brazilian spinach. Now the good thing about growing leafy greens underneath your fruit trees is that leafy greens do not need a lot of sun. We have chives under there as well, so all these plants can grow and be cropped without a lot of sun. So underneath your fruit tree, be mindful that the fruit tree is taking up the sun, so the part shaded plants will work out really well. So we have a ground cover working there with a herbaceous plant growing up, and we've got a chili here as well. So moving along, more chives. We got comfrey there, we got basil there, we got shallots coming up there. We got all these mustard greens like rocket and lettuce, all self-seeding. And we got galangal in the back. And we got pawpaw and a melaleuca as the backdrop. So you do not have to get rid of your native plants. You do not have to get rid of your exotic ornamental plants. They can all be incorporated into your food forest. You do not have to have a separate section for fruit trees and a separate section for ornamentals. They can all be working together and growing together. So we have passion fruit up that melaleuca there. And we got parsley under the pawpaw. See how close that parsley plant has seeded itself? All right, we got tomato coming up there. What is this? Like a lily. More tomatoes and another citrus. This is a lemon. In the back drop we got galangal, and that's where we got that passion fruit stem on the back of that melaleuca that goes all the way up over on the other melaleucas. So looking back down, more Brazilian spinach going around, and we've got a little thyme hanging out over the rocks. So look how close all that are. We've got tomato, thyme and Brazilian spinach all next to each other with a self-seeded rocket coming up as well. All right, we go over here and we got nasturtiums, and then a wormwood to parsley, Brazilian spinach. Then we got a variegated sage there, more of that self-seeded rocket. And then we go up to the back and we got another citrus hiding in the back, then a kaffir, another citrus with being kaffir lime, pawpaw. See the distance here? Pawpaw, less than a meter. Citrus, comfrey, stevia, bay leaf. Up the back we got a curry leaf. We got aloe vera, we got dianella, we got beccia, kale, lavenders down the front. And this garden just keep going. Okay, so all this is all planted up, all having other edibles and medicinal plants all underneath it. And they're all growing and working and cooperating together. So we'll just keep going, and I'll point out different ones we got. So we got acerola cherry there, and a moringa as the up the top there, and then we got a pink gum above it. So you can see the gum is then the cover story. Moringa is then on the side, with acerola being the shrub layer underneath with the feijoa and the beccia. We got all oregano here. We got rosemary there, more chives, more dianella, more lavender. Then we got banksia, pomegranate. And come here, we've got bottle brush, sweet potato growing all up through it. And we've got a tangelo, got an avocado, another acerola. In the understory, we've got mother of herb, chives, tomatoes, canna lilies, parsley, going this way, so arrowroot, galangal, citrus, it's not a lemon. Under the lemon, well, we got ginger. Oh, and over here, got ginger coming up underneath the avocado. Nasturtiums, keep walking through. Amazing lemon myrtle. Like, how beautiful is that, all in flower? All the butterflies and insects just loving on it. So good. Alright, we go down under. We got a grass tree. We got longevity spinach. It wasn't Okinawa spinach here, and we could put more basils and that kind of stuff in here. Another ornamental-y plant. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's a native of some sign. Then we got that's iris. Sorry, remembering all these plant names of all ornamentals and stuff as well. Don't really use them much, so please forgive me when I can't remember their names. We go Brazilian spinach, galangal, pawpaw in the understory underneath a moringa and a mulberry. We keep walking through and we see more dianellas, arrowroots underneath the mulberries, galangal on the back end of the mulberries, another native plant I don't know the name of. Hello, it's in the Grevillea family, I know that. Alright, and then we got turmeric underneath a lemon, got all the arrowroot there, got all chives at the front, got irises at the front. We've got bananas here with then dragon fruit behind it. We've got then oregano, or marjoram, and more nasturtiums around. So you can see that there's lots of plants, but you can plant anything that you want around it. Just play around. Don't be timid. Experiment. Don't plant all the same with the same, meaning have something that's a little bit taller, have something that's a little bit smaller, have something that likes sun, have something that likes shade. Experiment, try, and try again. You can always dig it out. You can always get another one. You can always propagate some more. Don't worry. Don't do anything. Don't not do nothing. Do something and just test and see for yourself. If you don't have experience with plants, like I said, it's going to be very hard to visualize and to see what a guild might look like or might function like, and that's okay. As you see more gardens and as you can see how plants are growing and their habits and their shapes and what they like, and if they like this position or that position, you will get a much better understanding of what you can plant with what. So the best thing is to just start planting underneath your fruit trees and start planting a little bit closer than what you might expect. You can always dig it out. Gilding is done in little small spaces as well as large spaces, so you can consider your whole garden being a guild. So do you have spaces for herbivores? Yes. Plants, right? You've got plants, you're going to have herbivores. So that means that you're going to need predators. Do you have the spaces for the predators as well? So you want to try and harmonize it and get your environment where you're not having population explosions, where things are kind of keeping each other in check. And so, in a pot, in a growing bed, you have a guild in there. So you have these micro guilds all through the garden, but then the whole garden is a macro guild and your whole neighborhood is another guild. And you can think of it like that. So in the small sense, you can guild up your garden plants too. And that's just kind of companion planting. How do you work things together? And a classic companion planting is three sisters in North America using corn as something that growing up tall is taking up that vertical space, and then growing beans up the corn, that's taking up a vine space and also utilizing the corn's vertical growth. And then underneath that, growing squash or pumpkin, something that'll take up that ground space. That's a simple 3-species guild that the North Americans used to grow corn, bean, and squash. So it doesn't have to be complicated. Keep it really simple, try for yourself, see what works, and have fun. It's okay if your first guilds or if a couple of plants die. In fact, I would expect that you should be killing a few plants, right? Like if you're doing it properly, you should be experimenting and you should be testing the boundaries and you should be learning. So how do you learn if you're not going to be kind of making a mistake? You're not making a mistake, you're learning, you're growing. The plants in the future are going to benefit and be very happy that you took the time to learn and make your mistakes. So plant, watch and see what happens and adapt. Simple. Planting guilds is simple, all right? It's not complicated at all. But it is very complicated for me to tell you what guild you should plant because I don't know the resources you have. I don't know how much you love gardening. I don't know what you want to harvest. I don't know anything about this. So plant a guild that feels good to you, okay? Thanks for watching. Enjoy.